Hello, bronies, ponies, and Pegasisters. Welcome again to EquestriaTalk. I'm Indigo Wisp.
I'm Static Blitz.
And today we have another guest named
dBPony.
dBPony, and we have heard you are a new Brony Musician. Is that correct?
I guess technically, yes.
Well, we've heard your music. Like, my favorite song by you would probably have to be Lessons, because that one's really good.
Well, thanks a lot. I'm actually, I like that one probably better than my last one, too. It took a lot more time to mix and master it correctly, and I spent a lot more time on it, so it does come out sounding a little better.
How long have... of course, the phone. Great time for the phone. Well, how long have you been making music?
Well, I've been doing music for a while. I mean, technically, I started my music pursuits when I was 15 years old, when I first picked up bass guitar. But as far as producing music goes and working in music studios, I've been doing that for about, I started when I was 18, so been doing it for about 5 years now.
Nice. I suck at making any kind of music.
Well, you know what they say, you've gotta suck at something first before you get kind of good at something.
That's true. I took guitar lessons for a while, but I don't know, my mind's just incapable of learning that good.
Well, I've never really took lessons. I mean, up until I went to college when I took private bass lessons. So, I mean, it depends. If you feel an obligation to have to learn something, then chances are you're going to enjoy it less, because then it becomes more of a job than it becomes something, fun. But if you just keep doing it and you've got that motivation, that drive to just keep playing because you absolutely enjoy it, you'll go somewhere.
It's true, because I know me and my brother enjoy doing this.
Well, then just keep on doing it, and you'll get better and better and better.
Alright, you got a question? Alright, well, the all-important question, how long have you been a brony?
Probably since the beginning of this year, January. Because I wasn't into the show at first, and I had heard of it previously, months beforehand, because I was dating somebody who was like, oh, My Little Pony's pretty good, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm quite all right with that. And I was like, I'm a pretty fruity guy, but I'm not going to watch My Little Pony. And he was like, oh, no, you've got to watch My Little Pony. It's really, really good. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to. And then at one point, he kind of forced me into watching the pilot episodes. And I was like, okay, well, fine. I'll do that. So I watched the pilot episodes, and I wasn't impressed. So I dropped the matter, and I said, I tried. It doesn't work. And then I kind of started getting more and more exposed to My Little Pony from playing Team Fortress 2 nonstop. And after a while, I started watching Silly Gmod videos. I mean, I had been in the past, but now there was a lot of My Little Pony references in them, and I started liking them more and more and more. Till finally one point, I was just like, you know what, let me give this My Little Pony thing one more chance, because, it's kind of wearing on me now. And I decided to watch Family Appreciation Day, which is my very first episode, technically. And then it took me about a week to watch every single episode, and that was pretty much when I was hooked.
Nice. My brother got me into My Little Pony. Like, he kept showing me little clips, like, of that one part on Dragon Shy where Fluttershy just yells at that dragon. My reaction was like, okay, like, I'm used to games where that's not even possible, or shows or stuff, so I thought, wow, this is kind of stupid. But actually, my very first episode I saw was the Canterlot Wedding. So, the part with all the action and stuff kind of got me into it, and then, I started just watching all that.
Alright, so you started, like, way at the end of Season 2, then.
Oh, yeah, I became a brony in June.
Alright. Better time to start, so.
That's true. Alright, you got one? Yeah. Alright, here's Static Blitz for one.
So are you currently in the making of another video, or are you just taking a break right now?
I am sort of taking a small break, because I work a job that demands 44 hours a week from me, and the shifts are 10 hours long. So for 3 days, I work 10-hour shifts from where I go 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then on the weekends, I work shorter shifts, but it's pretty tiring. So anytime I have between work and actual free time, I usually would spend that mixing and recording the actual music. And then on the days that I have off, I save for my vocal performances because there's no way I can perform vocally being so tired after work. Then it's kind of late and I don't want to like wake anyone up. It doesn't really matter though because I live on private property, so I'm not really waking anyone up. But I am going to be releasing songs on a month-per-month basis because that's a more practical time frame for me to actually, work on the music and make sure that it's actually 110%, that I'm comfortable releasing it. So I will be working on a song very, very soon. But at the moment, I'm just taking a bit of a small break from that. I'll probably spend about a week, and then I'll actually get started on the next song.
All right. That's very understandable too. Having a busy job like that.
Yeah, sounds like he has more of a reason to be tired than you.
It's a demanding job. I mean, especially now because the holidays are coming around, it's going to get really, really busy. So.
Oh yeah. Holidays make every job much busier.
What do you do for work? Like, what is it you do?
I work music retail.
Oh.
So I work in a music shop. It's a small business, but we've got 4 stores right now in the area. So we're doing pretty good for ourselves. We're one of the better known businesses out there. We won #1 dealership at the NAMM show, which is a really, really big music convention, and we pretty much won that for best dealer. And we're a really, really, really good store. We're full of a bunch of really great people. I pretty much run and deal with keyboards and MIDI interfaces, so I have to run an entire department by myself. I also sell pro audio equipment, like recording equipment, and else that might need help, like guitars, bass, or anything like that. So because I'm really the only one who can work that department, I have to work every single day that I can work. So 5 days a week and, completely crazy hours. I mean, I enjoy the job a lot, though, because whenever there is any downtime, I actually can sit down and sort of work on the music that I need to work out on. So it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it sounds like a cool job. All right.
Really good job.
I just deliver papers.
I work at McDonald's.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah.
I mean, not just to get food either. Like I literally worked there when I was 16 years old. It was a pretty crappy job, but I digress.
You started, wasn't it? 16.
Yeah, when I was 16. So, what would you say your favorite episode of My Little Pony is?
The Cutie Mark Chronicles.
Yeah.
Hands down, that's my absolute favorite episode because I just love the Cutie Mark Crusaders like a ton, which I guess is no surprise given the nature of the songs that I've released so far. Yeah, I absolutely love that episode. Pretty much just because I get a more personal background on every single character. I get to kind of follow the Cutie Mark Crusaders around on a little silly adventure, and I always love to just see them communicate with each other. And then it gets all mushy and cute at the end, and I just want to die. So, yeah, I think that's a great episode. I love that episode a lot.
That is an awesome episode. I love that episode. Hands
down my favorite one.
Yeah, the very first time I watched that episode, I'm like, cool, we get to see how they got their cutie marks. Alright, I'm going to give it back to Indigo for a question.
Alright, where's our list? Here's one. Yeah, smack me with it. Okay, what would you say your favorite thing about being a Brony is?
The community. I mean, I don't know if that's, a overused answer, but I've got to admit, sometimes I think back to when I wasn't into this show, and I wonder how I ever lived at all, because I pretty much live and breathe everything that's My Little Pony now, and it sounds weird and it sounds kind of unhealthy, but I mean, before all of this, I was managing band projects. I was in 3 or 2 bands at a time. I was trying to organize everything and make everything work, and it was just me constantly throwing the fate of a musical future in other people's hands, and it would constantly fail and fail and fail, and it was really demotivating. with being in this community, when I first started out, initially I did nothing. I wasn't drawing, I wasn't doing music, and when I saw everybody just releasing all this artistic, like all these drawings, all this music, anything, I was like, well, everybody seems to be giving in their little piece, and it looks really nice because they seem to be getting a lot of support, and I was like, well, maybe I should give it a shot. Who knows? So I started drawing first, and I really, really sucked. Because I hadn't drawn in like a year and a half, because I given up completely. And when I released my first picture, which was nothing, it was just, I think it was like a horrible little crappy drawing of Rainbow Dash. I mean, like, I still got a lot of support for it. I still had like 10 people or whatever, 20 people, whatever number it was, and they really liked it. And they were telling me to make more and to keep drawing, and I had never gotten that motivation before from anybody. So, I mean, I kept drawing and drawing and drawing until, here I am now, and then, now there's the music. It's completely overwhelming how supportive this community can be just because you're releasing something artistic. And it's really, really inspirational, and it's comforting to know that you've got so many people behind your back. Just, regardless of who you are or, what you do. It's just, pretty much that is what my favorite part about doing this is, because subconsciously in my mind I think about what I'm going to be doing next or the ideas I have, and then all the way behind my mind I'm thinking I really want them to enjoy this, because when I create music I want it to be fun, because I firmly believe if I'm not having fun while making the song, then I shouldn't release it, because it has to be fun for me. But subconsciously in the back of my head, I think about the entire community. I think I really, really want them to enjoy this, because I feel like I've been given so much. I just want to give all that back. So it would really have to be just the people, the community, and how supportive it is.
Yeah, that's a question that is used a lot, but it's pretty much the best answer. And Static actually had to go downstairs for a bit. The dogs are barking because someone is at our door. So fate doesn't seem to want us to do this undisturbed.
That's fine, don't worry about it. Dogs too, I understand the pain.
Yeah, we have 3 of them, so.
I have 2. I'm not far off.
All right. So being a Brony musician, who would you say is your favorite Brony musician?
It's a tough one. Thinking. My favorite Brony musician. Gosh.
A lot of good ones.
There are a lot of good ones. I've just never actually one day thought this guy is my favorite. Like, because I like them all very much. If I had to say there was one that I listened to more than out of anybody else, I guess I have to be honest. It would probably be dBPony. I listen to him more than any other musician, probably because I am not really into electronic music that much. I enjoy it, I love it, I can appreciate the art behind it, but I don't seek it out. So I'm not like, oh man, I want to go listen to Alex S today. Or, oh gee, let me go listen to, I don't know, like, Brony Dance Party. I've heard a lot of their stuff, and I really like it, and I can totally appreciate what they're doing behind it, and I can actually, sit down and listen to it, but it's not something I seek out for. But, I've come across dBPony's actual music more than once, and I've kind of dug through his entire thing and listened to it, and had more of an appreciation for that, because it's more of the line of what I'm doing. Recording, instruments analog, and miking things up, and doing singing and all that good stuff. So I was able to appreciate that a lot more. So I guess you can say he's my favorite.
Yeah, dBPony is really good, and he works with acoustic Brony a lot. They call themselves Acoustic dBPony.
Yeah, I know that. I've listened to acoustic Brony stuff too, and I heard a couple of things from them as well. And I like their stuff too. actually they have a song where they like did this huge collaboration with a bunch of other Brony musicians, and I really liked that a lot because I like heavy music as well, and that's pretty much what I used to do. Nothing of back then. I just used to do a lot of really heavy music, and I was able to appreciate it a lot because of that.
Yeah, and another musician. I don't know if you've heard of Prince whatever.
Yes, I've heard of him.
I've been a metal lover for a long time, so he's got to be one of my favorites.
I haven't seen him post a whole lot recently, but I do know who he is, and I've heard his stuff, so.
All right, you got a question?
What have you asked so far?
Who his favorite Brony musician is, and like just
Episode that we just did.
yeah. All right, here's Static Blitz.
Sorry, someone was at the front door. Who would you say your favorite pony is?
Ha. Jesus. Not Jesus. Trying to think. If there was a pony Jesus, that would be pretty sweet, but there isn't. For a long time, it was Pinkie Pie, but Rainbow Dash is sort of sneaking her way back up there, and only because I like people who are really brash. I don't know why. I like people who kind of blow themselves out of proportion a little bit because I find it, I guess, for lack of a better word, cute. And I don't know if that's it's funny because at the same time, if you said, "Oh wow, I like your brash attitude," it's kind of cute. They get insulted by it, and I like the reaction that they get from it. I don't know, it's kind of funny. But I like Rainbow Dash just because she's full of herself. I think it's pretty funny. It kind of reminds me a little bit of my OC in a little bit of a way, because I'd like to think that he's a little bit brash, but not overly so. Just, kind of hyperactive, I'm excited, not really I guess he'd be more Pinkie Pie than anything else with the little thing of Rainbow Dash, but yeah, I guess Rainbow Dash would have to be my favorite. Pinkie Pie is the runner-up for that.
Okay, yeah, mine used to be a Pinkie Pie as well, but I'm starting to kind of like Applejack right now. I've always been more of a country guy because that's where I grew up and everything.
Applejack fans are a rarity, no pun intended.
I really like Fluttershy.
I gotta admit, Fluttershy is my least favorite.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But Rainbow Dash is up there too, along with Applejack. I like her attitude, and she's always there, ready to help her friends out of any kind of situation. I'll give it back to Indigo.
Okay. What would you say, aside from your music, what would you say your favorite Brony song is?
Brony song as in fan-made music or from the show?
Both, I guess, because that's on here too.
Okay. I guess I'll answer both at the same time then. My favorite Brony song, it would have to be Breaking Tides. Breaking Tides is an acoustic Brony song where they collaborated with a bunch of other musicians to make one really cool song, and I thought that was really, really awesome. And I listened to that more than once on occasion because I thought it was really cool. That, and like I said before, I'm a heavy metal music fan, so throwing in that electronic music, that singing, and that heavy metal mix, that really got me excited. And I was like, wow, that is just awesome. I love that. As far as my favorite My Little Pony song, it would have to be Love Is in Bloom, because it has a very pop rock vibe to it, and as you can tell, I'm very big on pop rock. I love happy music, and I thought that was a great song. Actually, my intention at first, before releasing any of my original music, was to do a cover of that song, but while I was recording it, I didn't like it. And I was like, I don't like what I'm hearing, so I just decided to go with an original song after that.
Well, the original songs, as I said before, are really good.
Thank you very much.
I've actually been forgetting to download it for some reason.
Yeah, but yeah, I just recently listened to your songs, and they're very well done. It's very good.
Thank you very much.
So, tell us a little bit about your OC.
Oh, dBPony. Originally before him, I had an OC. And I guess it was the stereotypical, I'm an earth pony, but I'm like bright full of color because I suck. But after a while, I didn't like that OC anymore because I just felt like it was too forced and it didn't really totally represent me as a person too much. So I was drawing one day and I decided I'm just going to draw a random pony. So I did. And the picture that I drew is actually my avatar right now. I drew the character at first and I said, I like this character. He looks kind of confident. And I thought, maybe I should work on a new OC at this point. Let me think about his colors and whatnot. So I decided red because I like red a lot, and red is an instinctive color to the human eye. If there's red anywhere on a picture, it's the first color the human eye goes to because it's the color of pretty much blood, meat, and that's an instinctive thing, survival. I need to eat, so blood, yeah, obviously it must taste good. So I thought red would be a nice color. And I decided to give him a pinkish hue on his coat because I'm a big fan of, I guess, anything happy. And I'm really a huge fan of, like, bubblegum pop and, like, J-pop and stuff like that. And the color normally used to describe that kind of music is those happy colors. So I decided I like those colors a lot. And I feel like normally when I write this music, I have a really good time doing it. So I'm just going to make him kind of happy with that. And I threw on a pair of glasses on him because I do normally wear a pair of glasses very, very similar to those. In fact, I modeled them after the ones that I have. And I normally wear them because I don't like looking at the sun. Kind of hurts my eyes and I get a little nauseous, so it's like, I'm just going to put these on. I chose for him to be a unicorn because, and I think I was actually asked this yesterday. I can't remember why. Oh yeah, during a little live stream I did. I basically wanted him to be a unicorn because I figured, well, if he's a musician, then how the heck is he going to be able to play any of his instruments? Oh yeah. And I thought music is magic, so I was like, hey, unicorn, it's the best thing, next best thing. Well, they're a unicorn and musician, and woohoo, there was my pony. The cutie mark was a little bit hard to come up with because at that point I had to come up with a name as well.
Oh yeah.
Which I guess now I'll explain the meaning behind my name. dB is basically the ratio of physical quantity. It's the symbol used basically to level out music levels. So whenever you're doing EQ or whenever you're lowering the volume or raising the volume of something or whatever you're cutting out a certain frequency, it is rated by decibels. So there is a lowercase d and a capital B. That's the symbol. So I thought, let me do that. So I took decibel and then I kind of took the symbol and plotted it down, and then I was like, how can I make this awesome? And then I thought I would probably call myself dBPony if I used this symbol, and I thought that has a nice ring to it, and I thought I'll do that. And then when I came up with the symbol, I said, hey, look, the B sort of looks like a P. I'll manipulate a P into the B, and then that was it. And then thus came the cutie mark and came the name, and I was like, all right, I guess that's dBPony, and then I made him, and I was really happy because I felt more closer in relation with that OC than my last one, because my last one was like drawn in a day, and I was like, oh, look, he's pink, and all sort of stuff, so.
That's awesome. My mind is officially blown right now. That's very in detail.
My OC doesn't have a cutie mark right now. I can't think of one.
People who have OCs that don't have cutie marks.
Yeah, me and my brother don't have one yet, but we're working on them. We just recently made our OCs because we just found the website to be able to make them, so. I'll give it back to Indigo for questions.
I've actually been thinking about having metal shiny notes for my cutie mark, for my love of music and love for metal and stuff. Okay, have you ever been like trolled or made fun of or something for being a brony, for like liking My Little Pony?
Not as much as you think I would. I have a lot of friends in my area, so I do have a pretty good social life outside of the internet. However, one of my friends is a pretty hardcore 4chan guy. So he's very, very well aware of My Little Pony and very, very well aware of how much I got into it. At first, he was denying that I was ever into it and called it a phase. But then it became apparent to him that that wasn't the case. So he pokes fun at me for liking My Little Pony, but he does it for fun, and I take no offense to it because he's a pretty good friend of mine, and he has been there for me, for better or for worse. And he does take light of these kind of situations and kind of brings them and makes it funny. So, I mean, I can't say I've been really trolled for liking My Little Pony, like, oh my god, that show's for girls, or, this and that. I think the only worst time I've ever been ridiculed for liking the show was when I released my first song, Oh Sweetie Belle, where everybody was claiming I was a pedophile.
Wow.
Because it was at that point I realized how quickly people were to love the content as much as they were to hate you. And it kind of bothered me at first, because when I was originally writing the song and, recording it, I was recording it and writing it solely based on the fact that I thought the song sounded good and I thought it was a lot of fun. And the topic of the song had no relation to any feelings I have whatsoever towards any of the characters, because doesn't get that far from me in the show at all. And I thought, hey, it's cute, it's innocent puppy love. I'm sure everyone's felt that way at some point in their life, one time or another. So I thought, yeah, everybody's felt that way at some point. I mean, I know certainly Spike is, and I thought, yeah, it's a cute song. I'll write it about this. So I made the lyrics as PG-13 as possible, or general audience as possible, because I figured I don't want to throw anything that sounds too bad in it. And then, I released a video, and then what do you know, you got people and all that. And I was almost expecting that, but at the same time, it bothered me a little bit, because here these people were assuming that I created the song because I had some kind of a weird obsessive crush over a Sweetie Belle character, when in reality, I just created the song for fun. So it felt kind of horrible to be assumed that you were something that you weren't, and then not really being able to stand up for yourself, because you don't want to come off as someone who's very intolerable of that kind of stuff. So I had to sit down for a while and just take it, and it sucked. So that was the first time I could really say I was trolled, and where it actually kind of upset me in a way, because I was just like, wow, that really sucks. But I mean, I got a lot of support from artists afterwards, and I pretty much came to the conclusion, as I would have before in any other band, that people are going to hate your stuff. No matter who it is, no matter how good it sounds, no matter how bad it sounds, no matter what it is. It could be a picture, it can be a brilliant work of art, it can be anything. Someone out there is going to hate it. That's why there's the like and the dislike bar, and that's why the dislike bar is usually smaller and proportionate to the huge amount of people who like the stuff. So, I mean, it only goes to contrast to show you how much people like your stuff, and how the people who don't like your stuff, well, it doesn't really matter. There's always going to be someone out there who hates this stuff. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me now if somebody goes onto my videos and it's like, oh, this is gay, or oh, this sucks, or anything like that, or your music sounds stupid. Because that's their opinion, and it's completely subjectable. And when you look at the masses and how many people are like, I really love your work, that comment almost just fades away completely after that. And you're like, okay. So, I mean, I have been trolled before a little bit, but it doesn't bother me now because, well, the positive completely outweighs the negative, and that's all that matters to me right now.
Definitely, always outweighs it.
Yeah, as you said, there will always be, even if you think they're just doing it to get attention or something, there will be people that will dislike anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I think sometimes. Maybe they're doing it for attention.
Maybe they're just bored. Because I'd like to sit down and try to think in the mind of a troll, or think in the mind of somebody who's just like, I want to crap all over this guy's day, and I'd like to think that there isn't really the motivation of, I want to be, I want to do this for attention. I want people to pay attention to me. I think they genuinely just want to be a jerk.
Yeah.
And they get some kind of fulfillment from the responses that they get, or from the gratification that they may have ruined someone's day just because they created something, and they feel like, well, this guy doesn't have a right to feel or think better than anybody else, so I'm gonna try to just knock him down. So and there's always that general typical response that everybody's like, oh, maybe they're jealous, and I hate that. Like the whole, oh, well, maybe you're just jealous, because I've had that thrown at me before just because I didn't like something, and I just voiced an opinion like, I don't like this music. Well, maybe you're just jealous because you've got a lot of talent. And I'm like, yeah, that's totally why I don't like it. I can't have a taste in music anymore just because I might be jealous over somebody else's artistic ability. No, that's not it. So, yeah, no, it's whatever.
Yeah, I've had that maybe you're jealous thing a lot, and when I try to put out my opinion.
Yeah, that's the way trolls usually work. They're gonna take the subject and they're gonna make it the most extreme thing that they can do, and just trying to get attention from everybody.
Usually if you're jealous over something, you're normally really quiet about it. You silently hate the fact that you're jealous about something. I've had jealousy before. Like, I would have listened to a piece of music, or somebody might have succeeded at something I wish I could have, and silently in my mind I'm just like, oh, that freaking, and then I'm just like, I am so jealous right now. Like, I do it silently. I never voice my opinion out. I'm just like, oh my god, guys, I'm so jealous right now.
It's weird how, when you're jealous, you're silent, but once you're voicing your opinion, oh, you're jealous.
Yeah, like, I'm totally jealous. I voiced my opinion. You got me, guys! Time to reap my fate.
Alright, one more question, because you probably have to go soon, don't you?
About 5-7 minutes, but go ahead, take your time, man.
Alright, well, we have 5 or 7 minutes, so we'll make the most of that. I think we've used up all the questions that we have written down, because we have kind of main questions written down, and then we kind of just make up some as we go. You have any? Okay, we're
pondering.
I'm not the best at thinking. My mind is kind of a scrambled mess all the time. Like, what did you, think at first when you knew you were becoming a brony? Like, were you, worried, or were you, just happy about it, or just kind of neutral?
I did not think a single thing. Primarily because I was a furry before all this. And if there's any one thing more awkward to have to explain, it's why you're into anthropomorphic animals and you went to a huge convention over it. Because the first thing you find when you look up furries is a Wikipedia article, and it's just like, having to explain that to people is really, really weird. Yeah. So, when I initially was like, I'm really into My Little Pony, and then I found out there was a term that was attached to it, I wasn't like, oh yeah, well, yes, I'm a brony. And then went around, I was like, hey guys, I'm a brony. And then they were all like, oh my god, you're gay. No. I didn't really think anything, and I wasn't really worried because, I've got other things in my life and aspects about me that people could be more surprised about than the fact that I'm into a My Little Pony cartoon show. And, gradually more and more people found out, but when they did, the response, it wasn't well received, nor was it ill received. It was, okay, whatever. And that's exactly pretty much how I figured they would take it. It really isn't anybody's business whether or not I like the show or not. I don't feel any sort of obligation to have to tell anybody I'm into My Little Pony. And so what if I am? it's pretty much a hobby at this point. What do you like doing for a hobby? Should I ridicule you for liking something and having an overly, big passion for it? I mean, it doesn't affect your life in any negative or positive way that I'm into My Little Pony, nor is there really a point for me to have to ever bring it up. So, I mean, I wasn't worried at all when I really was getting into the show. All it was for me was just something that brought happiness to me. And if that's what it was doing, then I was going to keep doing it because I really, really, really liked that happiness. Because it was a really big form of escapism for me in an otherwise very crappy world. So, I mean, I was not worried. I did not have any feelings of anxiety over it. And I wasn't thinking, oh my god, what's everybody going to think? Oh my god, I like My Little Pony. Oh my god, I'm going to walk out and people are just going to look at me and point fingers, but that guy is into ponies. Don't sell him anything. Nah, I didn't feel anything like that. And sometimes I feel bad because there's a lot of people out there and a lot of younger kids who are into My Little Pony, and they type up these blogs and they're like, oh my god, guys, I'm into My Little Pony, my parents are going to kill me. And I'm just like, geez, I think you should relax a little bit. I mean, and then there's people who are like, oh man, I need to come out to my parents as a brony. And I'm like, you act like as if you're coming off to your parents that you were gay. I mean, that is something frightening. Having, especially if your parents are not in, like, they just don't like that at all. If your parents came out and they were like, yeah, gay is wrong, and, you grew up with the fact, with the implemented in your mind that gay is wrong, we don't like gay, guys shouldn't be, dating guys, and then all of a sudden you just kind of realized yourself, you're growing up, I'm gay. That is something extremely hard to tell your parents or to tell anyone, because you don't want to keep it inside because you feel like you're isolating yourself and you feel like you're not telling people who you really are, and it's depressing because you feel like you're hiding yourself. You feel like you want to release that fact to the world, and you just want to be like, yes, I am. And you know what? If you get accepted or not accepted for it, it can either hurt really, really badly or you can get over it. But I mean, it's not quite the same for My Little Pony. A lot of people feel like they need to tell people, oh yeah, I'm a brony, I'm into My Little Pony, this and that. Because they hold it so personally towards themselves, like as if it were a part of themselves. And I can understand that because the show is a very personal aspect of someone's life. It could have really changed their lives. It could have brought a lot of happiness over to them. And having to project that onto their parents and be like, yeah, My Little Pony has made me happy. It's kind of a fear, I guess, because it makes them look like, I guess for lack of a better word, a sissy. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a cartoon, and it is a choice of whether or not you want to watch it or not. It's not something that's completely going to mold your life forever. Forever. So, I mean, I feel bad sometimes when people think like that, because, you got to kind of jump in and be like, listen, this is a cartoon. It's a hobby. It's something you do on your spare time. You don't need to tell your parents you're into this show. To be honest, it's none of their business. So, you don't have to feel any sort of obligation for that. And so what if they find out? If they think any differently of you, don't care. I mean, really, there's nothing in this world that can drastically harm you from liking My Little Pony, other than the fact that somebody might say you're a girl for liking a girl's cartoon show. And honestly, if somebody says that to you, so what? That's their opinion. They might be a jerk in that, in that respect. But you know what? Why should that matter to you? The show makes you happy. Other people's opinions on you liking the show does not matter.
It's true. I actually have this friend. He's the kind that's like, he has piercings all over his face, long, like, reddish black hair, has red eye contacts. And he was the only person I was worried to tell that I was a brony. He's the kind of guy who is into vampires and stuff, but I told him and he just looks at me like, okay. And I thought, he's okay with it? And he's the kind of guy that doesn't seem like a true friend at times, but that was one of those moments where he acted like a true friend. He accepted me for being a brony, and he still talks to me and everything.
You see, for me, when my friends found out that I was into My Little Pony, because I didn't tell them. Because, to be honest, like I said before, there was no obligation to tell them. It didn't matter if they knew I was into the cartoon show or not. Because there's one overruling fact among all of this that automatically numbs the fact that I'm into My Little Pony, and it's my sexuality. Everyone knows my sexuality. It's everyone's known it for a long time. So to me, coming out and being like, I'm into My Little Pony was something that was just completely irrelevant because they all knew my sexuality, and there was nothing more hard to tell people than that. What was I going to do? Turn around and say, I'm into My Little Pony, and then they would just go, oh, no, that's where I draw the line. You're not my friend anymore. Like, I mean, that really didn't matter to me, and when they found out I was into My Little Pony, it just gave them a grin because that only gave them something to pick on me a little bit for. And honestly, I don't mind because we all pick on each other for fun. It's all in good fun. So, I mean, you know, maybe we'll be driving or something and there'll be a pony or something like that. And because we live near farmlands and stuff like that, there'll be a pony. They'll be like, yo, Matt, look, there's a pony. I'm like, shut up, it's not the same. So, I mean, a lot of my friends have been massively supportive about it. One of my friends works at a McDonald's, and he brought me all the My Little Pony toys. I mean, gosh, I wasn't expecting that.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, when my friends found out, it was nothing. I mean, I guess one of the funnier ones was a longtime friend of mine that I haven't seen in quite a while. Was at the Walmart that one of my friends works at the other day, and he was like, "Oh, how's Matt been doing?" And my friend LJ had a field day with this, and he was like, "Oh, well, Matt's fine. He's just working now, washing My Little Pony." And my friend, he just goes, "Ha, that's really funny." And he just kept staring at him and was like, "I'm not kidding. I'm being serious." And then he was like, "Wait, really? He's into that?" And then he was like, "Oh no. Those years, those phone calls I've missed, I've got to call him now." And he was like trying to text my number, but I didn't have a cell phone at the time. And he was like, "Matt, are you okay?" But yeah, I guess that's one of the funnier ones because I guess he felt like for a moment because he didn't answer my phone calls that I liked My Little Pony because of that. So I guess the next time I see him, I'm just gonna like wear one of my Pinkie Pie shirts and be like, look what you've done. Do you see this? This is your fault.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have fun with that next time I see him. Now that I have a cell phone again, so.
You should like just totally record that and put it on YouTube.
I would. It would be entertaining. I mean, because me and him hang out one-on-one, so it would be like one of those private little things at the camera in my pocket, and they walk up to me, and it's just like, "Oh my God, Matt, what's happened?" And I'll be like, no, don't ask me. Ask yourself. This is your fault, all right? All those days, I was like, where's my friend? Why doesn't he want to go out to dinner with me? My Little Pony is going to substitute for the absence. Yeah, no, that would be funny.
Yeah, when you mentioned that we all tend to make fun of each other at times, I glared at my brother because he makes fun of me quite a bit.
You make fun of me too, so.
Name one time.
All the time. Every time I come over it, you smell.
You tell me I smell all the time. I don't tell you I smell. You tell me I smell. Why are we talking about smell? Okay.
You reek of My Little Pony.
Exactly.
Yeah. We just got done like watching like 7 episodes a little bit ago, so. Alright, you got a question?
No. I think I'm out of questions.
Yeah, we're kind of running out of questions.
My question pot is dry.
Are you excited for that Fighting is Magic game?
I guess. I mean, I don't regularly keep, tabs on the process of that game. I mean, I know that it exists, and I watched a lot of the live streams, but excuse me. When it comes out, I'll definitely give it a shot. Donate some money to the developers because they put so much time into it. Looks really neat though. Anything pony that I can get my hands on, it's like a plus. So if Fighting is Magic comes out anytime soon, then it's like, oh, something else to add to my pony arsenal. Throw it on my computer.
So are you like a gamer yourself or no?
Before all of this Brony stuff, I was really a hardcore gamer, as I mentioned before. When I played TF2, I used to work an overnight job. It used to be 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. I'd get home, and as soon as I got home, I launched TF2, and I'd play that for hours and hours and hours till I had to go to sleep for my next shift. So I used to play a lot of games. Borderlands. I'm looking forward to Borderlands 2. I'm going to be buying that. But I don't play games nearly as much as I used to anymore. I'm just so busy with work, and when I get home, I try to be as productive as I can. Anything with drawing or anything with music, and if I'm tired and I don't feel like doing any of that, I rarely think in my mind, let me play a game, because I just don't have the mentality for it anymore. It's not really something that I think, I feel like playing a game. Every now and then I'll look at like some Skyrim game footage and I'll think, man, I really want to play Skyrim again, because I played that for like a month straight one time. So I'm not really a gamer. I'm not really like heavily into games. I like a good game every now and then, but
darn it, my mind went blank. Well, one game I'm really excited for is that Dishonored. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I can't say I have.
You've seen it. It's that game where you can like kill people with rats and stuff, or you can possess people. I don't know. My brother's claiming he's never seen it, but I've shown him trailers. Okay. Yeah, I think we were kind of out of questions. So I think that might end the interview right here. But thank you, dBPony, for starring on our next interview video.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Hey, you're welcome. Anytime, guys.
All right, well, I am Indigo Wisp.
I'm Static Blitz.
And thank you all for watching our video. We are EquestriaTalk, and we'll see who we can get next time. Hopefully either Solrak or Prince Whatever. So see y'all later.